The brief explanation of praying on the sutrah. I would say the following points. Number one, the Prophet ﷺ never left off praying with a sutrah when he traveled and when he was at home. The hadith in which the Messenger of Allah ﷺ prayed inside of the Kaaba between the two columns doesn't clearly state that nothing was in front of him. The hadith that states that the Messenger of Allah ﷺ, he prayed at Mina, he was making Hajj, there was nothing in front of him, is not authentic. The authentic hadith teach us that the Prophet ﷺ always used a sutrah, whether it was a wall, whether it was a spear, whatever the case may be. Secondly, the Prophet ﷺ commanded the people to pray towards the sutrah. لا تصلي إلا إلى سترة. Don't pray unless a sutrah is in front of you. Brief. Number three, the Messenger of Allah commanded those not to allow anyone to pass between them and his sutrah. Point number four, the Prophet ﷺ, he made a severe warning of the sin of walking in front of someone who has a sutrah. Everybody understand this? Number five, the sutrah should be relatively close towards you. So close that when you make the sujood, is approximately this much space between you and the sutrah. Mamarr shah, the hadith says. The walkway, the passway of a sheep. Obviously, some sheep are bigger than others. Some sheep are bigger than others. But in general, like this. This is what our teachers showed us. Not too much space. So you estimate your waist, your belly, your torso, your neck, your head, and that much space between you and the wall or the brother's back, etc. Number three, the length of the sutrah should be preferably 3 arm spans long. 3 arm spans tall. Everybody understand this? These are some of the basic rulings of the sutrah. Another very important point is that the sutrah should be directly in front of you. It should not be on the left or the right, as some of the ulama say. No. The sunnah is that the Prophet ﷺ, he had the spear in front of him. Nusiba bayna yadayhi. It was put in front of him. Everybody understand this? So these are some of the basic rulings of the sutrah. It should be done. It should not be left off. The height, the width doesn't matter. It can be as thin as a pencil. What's important is the what? Is the height. Everybody understand this? Is the height and not necessarily the width. You should not allow anyone to walk in front of you. If someone refuses, try your best, and it's not upon you. It doesn't necessarily nullify your salah. Last but not least, do not force the sutrah upon others, as many people do. The majority of the fuqaha hold the view that the sutrah is a recommended act. They hold the view, most of the ulama hold the view that it's what? Recommended act. That doesn't mean that that's the strongest view. But you can't force someone to do something in which the majority of the ulama hold to be preferable. And that's another plague here in Philadelphia. It's a plague. Not recommend, not advise, but to force. I want to force you to do something which is a severe issue of ikhtilaf. And not only is it severe, but 9 out of 10 ulama hold the view that it's not mandatory. I can advise you. I can say, Akhi Isa, this is my view. This is the dalil. But I cannot force you. And if you don't take the act, most of the ulama hold to be recommended, then you're astray and misguided. Don't do that. You see a Muslim, give them the nasiha. The Prophet used the sutrah. Tafaddal ya akhi. Do not force it upon him. Do not throw it upon a person. Everybody understand this? And last but not least, do not walk from the back of the masjid to the front of the masjid to get a sutrah. Don't do that. 2 or 3 steps, if that. A step to the right, perhaps. A step to the left, perhaps. Do not go out of your way and moving and walking and running to get to a sutrah as many brothers do. That's not right. It's in brief. Wallahu ta'ala alam.